like he was an Echo one-trick streamer that got picked up by FPX to be in their academy roster, and then they were like, hang on a second, we need you immediately because TN is having struggles, and now he's on the winning team in BLG. It's been an insane journey for him to find himself here.
Well, here we are, finally in a pick ban in our champ select powered by Omen and HyperX. Orianna taken away, we've learned that from today, but Dag, we know Ryze has been the pick of the tournament so far. BLG says, screw the Ryze. Jarvan B1.
I mean, the Jarvan is incredibly strong for Beichuan. Again, this is, for BLG, a team that loves to skirmish, a team that loves to find these early fights. So Jarvan fits very nicely into that sort of situation and will provide the engage tools that you need for Bin and Knight to kind of step up. Elk has been decent, has been good, but it is very much been about the solo laners and finding those skirmishes.
I don't know if it's going to get locked in. Would you be worried about immobility? I think the answer would be yes. So Aurora instead, but now pairings.
Well, I think it's the Aurora kind of a pick away from Knight. He has very often been pairing this Jarvan alongside the Aurora and finding a lot of those dive combinations. So 100 Thieves kind of doing their homework to take that one away. And now Zhao could be an option if you really want to. Or do you go for the buys, you were kind of saying, to look for that dive and just continue on that trend.
Zhao was a good call out though. Again, one of the strongest junglers on the patch, still has been for the past couple. 100 Thieves going to put it on River, something that can carry when we talked a lot about this jungler and how he achieves on 100 Thieves. But now for BLG, are we going to get a strong bot lane? Oh, classic. I feel like Elkanon, when they have strong 2v2s in the meta, they will pull them out in a heartbeat.
Oh, it is the Elise. There it is.
What a treat.
This is the on special. They love this Caitlyn Elise bot lane and bringing it out already. I mean, that's just going to put some pressure onto FBI and Eyla to see what they can achieve. But looks like Dhokla going to be happy to go back towards Tank Duty with the Sion and take that one for himself in the top lane.
Okay, well, it's still a strong pick in its own right. Caitlyn can cut through, but let's see if the Sion can scale faster. Because we have solo laners for 100 Thieves, but no bot lane. So for BLG, they start batting away some of these annoyances, these nuisances, right? Like Brom, I assume, would go with an Elise and Caitlyn. But what else, Dagda?
Well, the problem is it's really difficult to play against because you can reset the aggro underneath the tower as you go for dives. And that's traditionally how BLG have kind of played with it, is like push into dive into all these setups. So I think this is where for 100 Thieves you have to be incredibly careful what your bot lane is, because as you're already getting the supports banned away that can counter push, I think you need to go for something like maybe the Rakan, maybe the Xayah, to try and say, hey, if we can at least hit level 6, we can try and survive some of this dive and try and keep ourselves safe. But it is a tough call. This has been such a strong pairing for BLG.
Maybe they're predicting that FBI is just going to pull out the Ezreal here and like try and add a little bit of range, versatility as an AD carry. Maybe pair up with River and play the rest of the map. For now, Ryze does go away, so Knight's not going to get the chance of what is right now a tournament favorite champion in the mid lane. But we question that last support ban. Are BLG going to take away an AD carry instead? Is it going to be the Ezreal, or is it something else that makes their life annoying? I mean, their 2v2 is so strong, Dagger, it's like, it's limited.
Because that's the thing, like, you would, into Caitlyn, see things like the Karma Ezreal, so then that could be a pushy lane you can try and play around, but and maybe the Corki has enough push with the Phosphorus Bomb, enough safety with the Valkyrie to make it difficult. But are we going to just fight fire with fire as FBI, hovering the Kalista? I don't think that's what you want. Okay, yeah. They're going to try and go for the old school answer, which was the Ashe, try and outrange with the volley and just try and keep this push at bay.
Oh, that's range too, and I respect that as well. Smart move. When the Aurora is the only AP so far, it's nice from FBI. And now again, we question like what that support's going to be, because you have support already up on the board. But it is a counter pick that Eyla gets to play with.
It's also, when you get poked inevitably by this, the Caitlyn and the Elise, it does set you up where you can now have that TP for the Ziggs to TP back into lane and keep yourself safe. Because that's one of the problems that you'll have, is that it's going to be such a hard time against the poke that BLG have in this bottom side.
Rek'Sai gets locked in. Good against a Tate top laner here. So Bin also provides a little bit of setup, a little bit of dive. Taliyah would do the same thing, and I mean, Knight's Taliyah. Like, guys, when Dagger and I cast this region for many years, there was a few things we were worried about. At the time, it was the Silas. We don't see as much anymore. I think Taliyah was always on that list.
I mean, to be fair, Knight's list only just seems to grow.
We are scared of Knight
as
a
just
person.
Nice, yeah. I mean, very much has been the best mid laner in the region for a significant portion of time. So
True.
And it has been the rallying point of BLG. He has been the performer on this roster, and it was kind of waiting, as you say, until playoffs to see the rest of the team hit a point where they could be just as strong. And now it's on 100 Thieves to see if they can be stronger. Taking that Rell into the bottom side, it's great setup, it's great presence and pressure on towards a back line if you can get that Rell combo set up. But I will say 100 Thieves, very magic damage heavy when it comes towards their composition.
Very true. It's Zhao with the AD, right? And I think also with this comp tag, we're going to mention that it's going to take a while to get things going if Quid's not in control, if Quid doesn't get the snowball in the game. Because I see BLG and I see lane dominance here in this game. I see BLG doing what they do best, and I feel like BLG are a great laning team. The quality we talk about with Knight especially, I think they've got all the eggs in the basket. And LPL's #1 seed that again went through the whole rigmarole of 4 best-of-5s with 3 of them going the distance, including the top esports one in the final. They had to work damn hard to get here, and they had to not be a 3rd place team, which is where they finished in the regular season. They had to be a 1st place team and show the world that they're back. And here they are once again. It was a year where a lot of people hyping up top esports, but no sir, no sirree. Dagda, there's a stat on the screen. Thank you to our production. You should read it.
It's just on Elise, career 9-1.
Oh.
It has been a very, very strong pick for this squad, and has been the pocket pick that traditionally they brought out as the draft goes later, as you start to see a lot of those picks taken away. But we're starting to see kind of what we're talking about, those like scrim bubble-esque vibes, where we're seeing the Caitlyn's picked up by teams like T1 yesterday. Now we're getting a lot from BLG. We just had it as well in the last game. It's definitely starting to pick up the pace, and Elise works very well alongside this.
The Chinese fans are out massively for BLG. And I can hear the gyos as we begin. All right, so we'll electrocute naturally. All in bot lane. We are going to be focusing a lot on bot here, ladies and gentlemen, as you'd expect. We haven't seen an attempt for 100 Thieves to try and get this lane swap in order in the early game, much like we did last game where favorable lanes were talked about a little bit, or the game before I should say. But this time they're just going to match into it, and FBI is just going to ride out the storm. Yeah,
if they didn't take the Ziggs, I think they could have potentially tried to lane swap around and make it a bit easier for themselves. But opting in towards the Ziggs, I think they basically said, hey, look, we know what way this is going to go.
Yep.
We need to try and set up so we can have the push and not fall as far behind. And maybe if it was something that was a little bit like another AD carry that would just struggle in the matchup, they could move. But I think the Caitlyn is an RDC. Going to be very impressive if that was a silent instead.
Yeah. It was already a big start, wasn't it? And on, we now see Cocoon is started. Good dodge away. Actually, a little buffer from Eyla. Propels up, jumps back. But again, On can't really do anything. Doesn't have the Venomous Bite, doesn't have the launch to combo, get that electrocute off easily. And burst down as FBI already paying respect.
Yeah, and this is where, again, like FBI in time will be fine to push out this wave and just make it difficult for the Caitlyn to find success. But in the early stages, it costs so much mana to try and constantly throw these bouncing bombs and see if you can clear out the wave. So Elk just stepping up, it's level 2, looking for Cocoon.
Steps up even under turret. Mad respect given over. As by the way, if you want to know where jungles are in the heat of all this, actually on Vision. I believe both will be in a second as Beichuan's going to pass through Raptors, and there's a deep ward placed there nicely as FBI takes I believe a Trapper headshot. Also, edge of Raptors on Vision too. So as River pass down, there's full info aware for both teams.
Yeah, both junglers trying to make it down towards the spot lane, knowing just how volatile it can be. Again, the push is going to be here for BLG, and they'll be happy to just set up that grab for Beichuan and make him a little bit more comfortable as 100 Thieves, the pressure is on.
Now let's also remind people, if this Elise doesn't get to do much in the early game, it can be a pick that falls flat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
90% of the time for him it has not. But that 10%, Dagda.
10% of the time it works all of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very slim number, and you can see Eyla is essentially just trying to body block for FBI. You already saw that he can buffer through the Cocoon and make him safe, get the shield so the trade can't really go as effectively. But now Beichuan walking through here has On.
He's on a ward, he just doesn't care, he's walking in, as you said, On there, and Quid becomes lightning. Blue buff is now shown out, ward down, a steal, no, a flash instead for the engaged. Blue buff goes over, but for River, can he get out alive? A flash match, but 1 HP, all it takes is an auto, and it's from On, the heal out as well. Beichuan, the flag, just out of range. River survives with the prize.
River gets the pick and gets out. so close to going down. I thought maybe one of the Spiderlings had actually gotten caught in the blast cone was going with him, but they don't make it happen. He's lucky to have his life and his his blue buff, sorry, to go with him.
And as On returns back to bottom lane, he couldn't find any means of a combo either. Beichuan's now going to pass up top in full vision yet again. Flag and drag just gets in there sooner. It'll be a double scuttle take, but I feel like if River lost his blue, we'd be talking a lot more seriously about how the game state is for him.
Still though, pressure is on, like that flash burnt early. And also still didn't get like some of his other camps as well. Didn't end up getting that.
Dismantling smash. River's coming up top. Maybe a kill here for 100 Thieves. Dhokla's a little bit low. Bin's trying to get the wave with him as well. He tunnels out, and that's just Rek'Sai things.
Yeah, Beichuan up in the area as well. Means that 100 Thieves can't really look to follow. Eyla, getting a good trade back here though.
Isolated 2v2. The trap is down. Eyla walks around, repel up, and Thieves are going to survive just fine. They know that both their junglers are paying attention to Bin and Dhokla right now, so anything that happens down here is going to stick. The
nice thing though is that it did buy the time for FBI to reset and TP back in, so it is able to pick up at least an early amplifying tome and get some of the mana he needs. But with this push, I imagine he's going to reset once again. And this was kind of what we're talking about. It's about trying to survive this early laning phase for FBI and Eyla, and then hope that you have enough of a combo with the crash down, with the follow-up with the Ziggs, and then that ultimate from the Aurora to immediately burst out some of the members of BLG.
Come back to top. Bin is just going to get himself close to a turret plate with Demolish. Bit of a CS lead from Bin as well, by the way, and we've seen a lot of Rek'Sai tunnel out just before the turret hits. Seen a lot of Rek'Sai, you know, a lot of people take Rek'Sai into the tank matchup, Dagda, just simply because, again, you get true damage when you have 100% of the Fury from that Venomous Bite. Really nice trading patterns being added in and buffed out over recent patches. You see again has been, look how quick it is to stack, boom. Thank you so much for true damage, that's great.
And as you say, it's the healing afterwards as well that makes it so obnoxious.
Yep.
Because it's then very difficult for Dhokla to find any sort of trade back because you're just going to heal it all. And obviously tank's not exactly high on the damage threshold. Well, in theory, not high on the damage threshold.
Yeah.
Although Sion, I think, exists kind of outside of that fundamentally.
That's
sometimes.
true. I take that as a good laning phase, a really good laning phase. I feel like there's a lot of tanks in the meta right now, and this is probably why tanks are so good. There's a lot of health in the game. Like it's a little bit cheaper than it has been in the past. And a lot of tanks have good laning phase. I still feel like Horn's laning phase against certain matchups has been something favoured. I hope we see that pick come out more in the tournament. Of course, being in best of ones, we expected things like the Sion to come out more frequently. Things like the Azir, but evidently does not get banned. Tagged up, we're focusing on bot. Classic. That's just how this game's going to go. There is a Mountain Dragon up. Beichuan looks like he wants to kind of be around for it. He's almost a little 600 Cataclysm available as well. Might just be trying to maybe either dive FBI or set up that neutral.
Yeah, it looks like set up the neutral off this push to Zhao on the bottom side. FBI doesn't really have much damage at this stage and hasn't ticked over to level 6, so BLG trying to play off it.
Repel up, hang on, Quid sets up between worlds, on close to death, he gets bursted. First blood to 100 Thieves, has to charge out as River's in danger, but he gets a kill before dying himself. Now Elk might get one, but as he flashes away, he's got numbers against him. 100 Thieves on the board first, nice fight.
Nice pick onto the support as well. And his only end up losing their junglers. Bin,
what is Bin doing? BLG, I don't know, question that man.
Question mark pings across the board, to be honest. That was a series of unfortunate events for the BLG side. 100 Thieves going to be delighted to pick that one up. They get the kills in the fight. They get a mistake from Bin that they punish, and it means that you now got Lost Chapter picked up and finished for FBI, which is such a nice moment for the Ziggs because you can very quickly start to clear out these waves thanks to the extra mana. And now you got Dhokla TP into the bottom side. Looks like they're going to try and lane swap for the Void Grubs.
That play from Bin was about as good as the quality of Raz's predictions. We look at the replay down bottom.
Yeah, I mean, On has to go up into the air because immediately River tries to jump on him, but this fight is now very, very separated. You can see Elk is kind of able to ignore FBI. That's what we're talking about. You don't really have that damage. But for 100 Thieves, they're in a great spot where they pick off On. You've now got Beichuan who's too far forward. And they make it work off the back of a great ultimate from Quid.
Watch again how this happened. I think he's going to pray seek at a stop. Tunnel. Oh. And then... okay.
That was terrible.
that was probably not it. In a scale of 1 to 10, close to a 1. Okay. You know, it's nice when you see pro players making realistic plays. You know? I mean, solo queue for real. Well, 100 Thieves are going to get grubs on top side. And let's not take away from the bot side play, because I think the bot side play was fantastic. Like, River really bought time. The target selection was beautiful. Quid's impact was felt. And as grubs go down, as we try and recover from what Bin just did, it's triple grub game. It is 100 Thieves with a small gold lead, but a nice edge to start off this game.
And especially as you kind of already alluding to, a lot of that presence that they want is, hey, can we survive the laning phase against Elk and On, and then start transitioning to a later portion of the game? Well, Elk still is doing relatively well, but definitely not as strong as he could be thanks to that early fight, relative to the rest of the game. And if 100 Thieves are able to find these moments where they look for fights and they look for plays around objectives, they're in a good spot. And when you look back at 100 Thieves in the LTA, they were actually the ones that were making these silly mistakes and oftentimes would find themselves in a goal deficit. This time around, it's BLG who are making it. 100 Thieves are finding the success, and now they're getting to the portion of the game where they are stronger in general, just off of their stylistic play. So this is kind of a good look for 100 Thieves, just based on how they play.
Especially when they've already got grubs upside. This dragon that was visited before with the big plague is now going to be looked at more seriously. Again, a ward by BLG spots it out as Beichuan hovers by the side. Knight as well. We've seen a pretty stable game from him so far, and he's got Weaver's Wall up and available. Eyla's not getting anything with the Shattering Strike as BLG are looking for lane push, but then maybe push out and look towards the dragon themselves.
Yeah, BLG trying to threaten this, but we just saw that it didn't quite work out for them the last time around. This time, at least, On a little bit healthier and can start to get into position, but BLG want to make plays off of this bot lane push. 100 Thieves just aren't letting them do it.
Let's get deep vision in the meantime. Bin versus Dhokla, exciting stuff. They're going to smash each other. Dhokla is actually fine. Bin will sustain this up as well. You know it's a slower early game when you watch two tanks fight it out for 20 seconds.
I think we might be getting some action now as BLG's bot lane entered into River. Should be them starting up the dragon, I believe, off the back of this. Nice vision control by 100 Thieves at the moment, though. So opportunities if they want to try and look for repositioning with the Aurora, and she's going to reset. I think she's just got her first item completed.
So we're going to come through, but Eyla's face checking by himself. FBI wasn't there, and nor was River. A bit egregious from the Australian support as he goes down.
He ends up kind of messing that one up. You had the reset coming through for a Quid. You can see just finished his Liandra's Anguish, and they're waiting on that TP to come in so they could look to contest, use that item advantage. But Eyla checks a little bit too quickly, and BLG punish.
FBI could stop there on Knight's back. Will just buy some time, but a kill does go over to Elk. And while again it's been a stable early game, I have that knockdown feeling again. You know, where like you still get some resources, you still have a bit of gold. Elk is kind of that Caitlyn once more as he sits at 700 gold.
And I think this is where you've been able to find punishes as BLGs, like Elk and On. The flexibility that they have in that bot lane, like they still look good on things like the Callista, they still have things like the Caitlyn that they can bring out. Like they are a very dangerous bot lane when they are playing to their potential. And now Elk with 2 kills, a nice little gold lead for himself, gonna be able to finish off that Collector. I think this is where again you can kind of lend that strength through for turret taking and presence on the rest of the map.
He's going to take a little bit of that himself. Nicely done. That's 3 grubs for you. Just helps out here with the Liandries as Quid jumps over. Bin sees him. Not much to be said apart from the fact that with Titanic he wanted to get a big trade but doesn't get that at all. River sits in his namesake and BLG just face check. Okay, nothing to do. And I mean, for 100 Thieves, if the game is going this slow, and if BLG can't find anything around the next couple of objectives, like I say, it feels like a big win for NA.
Yeah, the thing is though, BLG are kind of finding things, because I was about to say Knight is up in this top side and pushing in, and this is what BLG were looking to isolate. By shifting people down to that bottom side, they're covering the potential dive from 100 Thieves. Oh wow!
Flash Cocoon, melee range, Elk flashes in as well. One more auto though! FBI getting away is criminal, call them!
And he even goes the wave to clear it out. I cannot believe FBI survived that. You can even see him in the camera. He's shocked by that one.
I mean, getting away with that, literally, with murder from the 2v2. And that's 2 flashes down.
Turret plating will fall.
100 Thieves going to be very happy. But again, like, this is where BLG are still trying to make plays. And it may not have worked out this time. But 100 Thieves, like, they are still needing to keep pace with what BLG are doing, and a lot of that is still BLG kind of playing defensively on the bottom side of the map to enable Knight into a good matchup against Dhokla. Now 100 Thieves have found their matchup that they want, which is Quid against Knight, so now they're feeling a little bit more confident, and they're starting to put some hurt on Dawn.
FBI also went for the gun first rather than something that's a little bit more scaling, so this is nice. Anger from Eyla as well. Meanwhile, though, Quid in a 1v1 versus Knight ain't winning out. The flank turns bad, turns salty as the ground laid beneath them. River, though, stays alive for a damn long time, but Elk stands and fires the big gun. Quid comes back alive as Knight couldn't really finish the job by himself, but BLG on the board again.
Eyla tried to find the flank, and 100 Thieves thought with the collapse they might be able to pick off the squishy Elise, but they can't finish him off. And it's BLG once more, a third kill into the hands of Elk.
Elk also has Collector. It's a 3-0 Caitlyn. So the damage right now is quite immense. We'll watch this a little bit more as Dhokla is taking the bad end of the trade, but Tacta at the end, you know, we might see a fight up topside again because it is 10 seconds towards the Herald build. You can reset here, and especially Elk and Knight. The fight up for that top objective that's going to get the game moving.
It's going to be a difficult one. As you say, like, Collector already finished. Now you got the Zeal coming through for our Elk. FBI can deal some decent damage, but trying to lock down some of these members on BLG is going to be hard. Like, the flash is still available on Knight. You have that net for Elk. And apart from Eyla, there's no real threat onto the back line unless you completely misplay his Elk, which means that he should be relatively safe from finding the CC on top of him that enables things like Quid and FBI.
Coinbase for the gold grind as we just look at Quid, who, again, found an earlier kill, but although he has a bit of a gold lead, he's been able to pop off in one of these fights, pulled out one ulti, but they haven't really had many fights, that's why. In a lot of these skirmishes picks, as Herald's going to start off now by BLG. 100 Thieves here behind, and River looking for a steal. He's got a blast cone as well. FBI also with a nuke, but Smite comes down. It's late. River comes in, and is it better late than never? That's the biggest question. BLG are willing to turn. When becomes lightning is good damage. Eyla also with the engage, but 100 Thieves, bit of a commit here, and there's no trade on the other side of the map.
No, BLG going to be able to escort Knight back into a position to keep this top tower safe. They get the Rift Herald, and especially with a Caitlyn, you can very quickly start to get through a mid tower with her. So BLG, again, it's not flashy, but they're getting the things that they need.
Again, they're holding a gold lead. It's not what a lot of people, I think a lot of people when they see LPL, they're like, LPL's always going to fight. BLG here, they're going to find picks, but fight maybe they don't have to. Quid might have to pop the ulti, the weirding out, the jump doesn't connect, and ulti comes through. Quid escapes, Beichuan drops the Cataclysm though, as Knight's going to look for some turret damage.
And that's all the BLG really want here, force Quid away from the tower. You're going to have 100 Thieves trying to make their way in on pause.
That's a busy
He's nowhere
spider.
to go.
He's up in the air, yeah, there's no Krugs. Nuke down, and FBI gets the kill from afar.
Nicely done by 100 Thieves, collapsing better and on. This is kind of the stuff that he'd get caught out on, trying to take shortcuts into positions that he shouldn't be in. And it's River who ends up spotting him then.
Again, I feel like Bond had some suspect plays. We talked about his recent performance, but over the course of the split, and I think earlier in the year especially, very sus on him. He gets a bit of off texture, you know? Rook's going to start Dragon. In fact, he's just going to take it. So for 100 Thieves, not only do they get the pick and punish the enemy support, getting that Dragon, making it one apiece. This game's stalling out right now. Goes back towards them.
The ability to play around this Rift Herald is about to be a big effect for BLG, as they're going to immediately open up the mid. The Dragon may have been a bit of a diversion, as they should be able to crack the mid lane turret. And if you now as BLG are able to access side lanes thanks to this, it's going to get very difficult. That top lane tower is already gone. They can potentially drive this into the bot lane.
You got to bend it like Beckham. Hang on. Ooh, and it's...
Oh, he's got it.
He's got it. All right. Beichuan, midfielder for sure. As BLG, there's no Dragon down here. They're just holding river control again and letting Beichuan step up.
And just using Knight here as a threat with the Weaver's Wall to completely isolate him.
Yeah, Dhokla stepping up with the turret, lucky to be alive. He's hovering over the fact that 100 Thieves were nearby, but the Data turret's going to drop down. River looking for a tag, but he's poked out instead. So now the turret's gone as the trap stepped on by Quid. 100 Thieves can't step up to the plate anymore. BLG walk away with an objective at hand, and meanwhile, FBI has just teleported in but there's a turret here. 100 Thieves are grouping up, and there's not much to take.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are looking for more, but BLG is going to be able to back away. 100 Thieves now maybe looking to see if they can brute force this tower.
But there is wave clear from Knight. I mean, brute forcing is hard, especially when you've got the range poke and the pick potential. Cocoon doesn't land out. The ult, the ace in the hole, hits Eyla instead. 100 Thieves maybe waiting for the next wave and hoping that FBI can use a satchel.
And they will spot out the reset interrupted.
Repel.
But on, maybe, as you say, step away from that one. And with the Hextech gates, you can get the resets from BLG and immediately get back out onto the map. So not really too much there for 100 Thieves. Now, the TP from FBI was used, but it's not exactly a massive detriment that that one's down.
Hey,
he's still going to be fine.
He's not a big flank, you know. There are 4 of them on 100 Thieves.
So at this stage, I think it was a nice attempt from 100 Thieves to try and catch BLG out. Just unfortunately, this is kind of the issue with some of their composition is heavily reliant on Eyla and Dhokla to be that engage tool.
Yeah.
You can engage with the Xin Zhao, but it is a very difficult one for it to actually make happen. So if BLG are up in the front to back style, it's very hard for 100 Thieves to crack that.
He'll just test his damage a little bit there. Celestial Blessing just getting rid of. There's Rapid Fire Cannon now picked up for the Caitlyn as well. And we've also got the second item here for FBI, so a bit of range, adding vision, but also just the poke feels really nice. Those extra units, and Quid's just spotted out for the time being, but it does feel like, again, FBI has gotten to a point in this game where his damage is going to be a lot more reliable, his damage is going to be a lot more hurt.
Yeah, timer here for BLG though, pushing mid, that wave needs to be caught, and the top wave needs to be caught, so this is usually where BLG would try and start things like the Adacon to pull people into the objective, get them to burn those TPs and then just back away, but I have to see if BLG want to try and go for that timer. I still see a lot of people sitting around, the waves have kind of been cleared, I think they might have missed their window here.
Bin's going top. He's got TP. And that said window, like Beichuan as he clears vision away. 100 Thieves going to come and match for the time being. Elk's going to get bot wave pushed out. On's on the way as well. There's a flower there, very pretty, and Quid does take it away. Thieves just there to receive the wave. 4 down in bot. River not spotted out for the time being. I like this picture. We're getting a picture on the picture of the picture down here. This is the picture.
It does show us that On is hiding in that brush though. It
does.
BLG maybe trying to base 100 Thieves in here to see if they overextend that a little bit too far. But again, 100 Thieves, patient. They're not going to try and overforce. They know they can clear these waves very quickly. BLG now dragging Adacon away from 100 Thieves area.
Teleport picked up by Eyla. He's going to use it straight away. At 10k though now, Adacon well underway. 100 Thieves need to nuke this with FBI. It's possible. River needs a big steal. BLG just going to throw it in the air, maybe. At 6,000, it's more and truly aggroed. If 100 Thieves can keep this up, they might be able to steal it and bring this game into their favor. 2,500 gold be damned.
Just going to reset. So 100 Thieves, again, patient, back away. They're not trying to overforce and give in to what BLG want. BLG essentially want them to try and come through these choke points in the Adacon pit, and that's where they can set up for plays with the Jarvan. They can use that terrain to their advantage with the Elise. But 100 Thieves not allowing them.
Bin's going to go for mid-wave. He was looking for an angle, spotted out by 100 Thieves. We are dancing down bot. We are just stuck down here. The BLG are like, come on, man. No, 100 Thieves are just moving back. Vision's still there, lining, but now that that's gone, it's getting harder and harder to see anything. Beichuan gets a knock-up, trying to bait Eyla in. Is BLG there with their snap engage. Just connect though with the seismic shove down. Dhokla on the left.
It's a war of attrition though, and BLG are slowly but surely gaining the ground that they need to keep people separated. Dragon now going to be started up, and they're going to continue this push.
X-Gate angle from Rivers, not too bad, but for BLG, clumped up. They now send another Weaver's Wall to make him put a bomb down. Rivers angle, though, that's what I'm looking at. As Bin's tanking up the damage for now. 100 Thieves going to bring in Quid with the teleport. On vision for the time being, that ward in front of Dragon, paying dividends. There's ace in the hole onto Eyla. That's their engage. Maybe gives BLG a chance. There's still a potential at 3k. The Dragon in front of Beichuan, not stolen, and he'll die with it as well. A Cataclysm has been separated from the team. Dhokla zoning out BLG. He's getting poked out though with a snap engage. Finally connecting, and a kill down. Bin survived for a long time. There just ain't enough. He bought all the time in the world out with the tunnel for now, but there's Quid with the range. BLG running away. Elk can't do too much with the Crescent Guard in the way, and On is just a dead spider body. 100 Thieves for 3, BLG with 2. I see the play, I see the faith, I see an A! A triple turns into an ace, and the long con pays patience paid off.
The heist continues for 100 Thieves as Dhokla bought so much time on the back line. Immediately runs onto Elk, forces his flash, and as everyone on BLG is dealing with him, it's the ability for 100 Thieves to take down Bin, to keep themselves healthy. But Beichuan, he wants to steal.
I mean, I've seen El Yoya steal this earlier on. Beichuan, do not let him near the pit. 100 Thieves, you got a good game state. You brought it back. Hexgate's going to be used. On's also on the way, but Artican within smiting range is down. A TP in front of Quid. They see it, they run. They're looking to escape. A tunnel user TP as well as Bin is there, but he's isolated by himself. FBI rampages over the Void Queen. Dhokla doing the same. Sends the ulti. Knight fails the flash. He can't escape either. And the 100 Thieves are playing the heist of a century.
BLG are crumbling, and it's 100 Thieves who are stamping them into the ground. They've been playing so well around these setups. Like, watch Dhokla as we start to get into this fight, because River moves in towards the pit. They know Bin is on the back line, but Dhokla immediately runs at Elk, forces the flash, and everyone on BLG is dragged down. But Beichuan goes low in the pit thanks to that damage. Now they get to turn on towards Bin, and Dhokla again, even in his passive form, forces everyone on BLG to deal with him again. So 100 Thieves can then deal with Bin. Dhokla played this fight perfectly and buying the space 100 Thieves needed. And here, BLG bought off way more than they could chew. They thought with the double TPs coming through that they'd be able to set up for the plays. But Beichuan doesn't have his Cataclysm up and available yet. They pick off Bin. And you can look at the faces there, 100 Thieves. They know they are doing incredible work in this game.
They are. They've brought this game back. They're a dragon ahead. They found the fight. Eyla, do not get caught out now. Shattering Strike. And he crashes down away. Elk. Bomb away. Quid the same. Quid the same. The assassination. Meanwhile, FBI's firing away. Beichuan went in too deep. On's caught out as well. Does NA believe?
Where were you when the LCS's third seed is taking games off of the LPL's #1? 100 Thieves, take a bow!
They lost the VKS, but they don't care about the LPL first seed. Nah, it's just BLG with a Baron now for the taking. What the hell is happening?
NA miracles are happening. The 100 Thieves heist is continuing. They were doubted coming into playoffs. They ran the gauntlet. They got to the top spots to represent the world stage, and they're taking Knight out.
Whoa, smash down Knight, put him in his place, Quid. You tell him.
What a performance. A 5.6k gold lead. Dragon in a minute's time. And BLG, you said at the start of Sterix, this was a composition that kind of needed to snowball a little bit to get the value from the Caitlyn. She's nearly at 3 items, but kind of needs that 4th to really deal the damage. And 100 Thieves have found this sweet spot where they're finding picks, they're finding access. And BLG, Elk, I think he's too far up.
He's up far, he's going to be spotted out by War. That's Quid on the way in. Ayla as well as the engagement at the level 16 Aurora. Forces the ghost out of the Caitlyn. Beichuan caught out here anyway. Bombs down again. And Quid is 8-0-5. They talked about this guy putting on the last hurrah for the organization, who is in their last stages of hurrah from the LTA as well. FBI takes a big chunk, but there's more where that came from as Elk gets hit hard by FBI too. 100 Thieves, they got in a turret. They're now looking for more bot as this Red Bull Baron power play is definitely away. 4,000 gold for them.
100 Thieves want to go out with a bang to blow the doors off of Worlds and say, hello, LPL, we are here.
Onslaught, double decimating smash. Dhokla sets it up nicely. And here's the man in the jungle to send it away. Knight gets out this time around, but look at the gold that's once again given over. 7,500. LTA's third seed is looking like they're about to get to 10 soon.
I mean, look at the items that they have completed. The Rabadon's Death Cap now working with that the Void Staff nearly going to be coming through fairly soon as well. You've got the Bloodletter's Curse completed for Quid as well, which is going to be reducing so much of that magic resist crucially for members like FBI. Like, this is prime position for 100 Thieves. And
Beichuan, he went for the invade here, but FBI's near there. Mega Inferno Bomb, bouncing bomb. What is that guy doing? 0 and 5 on the Jarvan here. And caught out. I mean, that once again opens up another avenue. There's 35 seconds left of the Baron. There's no jungler for a flanking play from BLG. And while River gets Dragon, top is the next siege for 100 Thieves.
And 100 Thieves, they get to keep, as you say, the pressure up. They want to just wait until this wave is brought in by Quid, and they can look to continue pushing forward. Dhokla on mid-wave to create another point of pressure. If they move Dhokla across, I think they can just dive the BLG members under the structure.
Knight's going to use the wall defensively, trying to pull off this last Baron wave. He does so successfully, but all the minions taken away. Dhokla not going to take much damage here off the side as he zones off for a BLG. River is getting mid by himself. At the end of that Baron power play, it was like 5,000 almost, or 4. It's enough gold to show you now that 100 Thieves, with 9,000 in the lead, have this game under their wing. How they close it out will be impressive, but how they got here, I think, will be a story to tell.
And the Hextech Dragon, the soul, is going to be available for this team.
How good is that for this team?
It's so disgusting.
Yeah, it's the most
so
disgusting soul.
This is perfect for 100 Thieves. It feels like the stars have aligned in this game, and they've played it so incredibly well. The early skirmishing, they found their success. The Ziggs coming out to shut down and keep Elk somewhat, I will say, in check. But it's been spectacular team fights that have been the core of 100 Thieves' identity. And BLG just look like they have no answer for them here as Elk spotted Quid.
Yeah, he is. Quid pops between worlds, bursts him. One shot, Eyla contributes. The burn the auto is enough. A bit of an overcommit from 100 Thieves, but who cares? They're so far ahead. There's a cocoon, but On is also caught out. He repels up. He's looking for a target to get away. Beichuan has to command, but with that, he's sealing his own death warrant as well. The first LPL team is getting bodied by a couple of risky Thieves. There's a shutdown there, but meanwhile Knight has to flush away from Dhokla, who's under a turret, who's destroying the best mid laner of the East right now. Flush away, no. Dhokla just soloed Knight.
100 Thieves are in the base. 100 Thieves are about to take down BLG in China.
Listen, there's nothing. The LPL fans are here to cheer on the first season they thought was the sure win. But then 100 Thieves show up after getting defeated by VKS, after everyone saying they're a failure of a team. 100 Thieves just beat the crap out of the LPL.